Hi, with so much going on in the world and all the various news sources, and there's always this debate about mainstream media versus conservative news and who's telling the truth, and it's a lot to sort through. I just wanted to take a moment to eh, compare mainstream with conservative news to see that what stories are even focusing on and the different ways they report them if they're reporting on the same stories. Okay, now we're looking at the Gateway Pundit, which is a conservative news source, and we're just going to scan the headlines. So you can see here, IRS agent uses fake name to enter taxpayer's home, then threatens her to cut a check. It begins 20 heavily armed IRS and ATF agents raid Great Falls gun store, seize firearm purchase records. President Trump responds to Tucker Carlson's barn burner Twitter episode, Wannabe Dictator. And we'll just go through some others. I'm sure you can see this. It's pretty clear on the screen. Now, one thing I've noticed when you're going through the news, a lot of people will scan the headlines. And sometimes the headlines are not indicative of what the story really focus is or the meaning of it. You have these sensational headlines that really don't tell the story behind what they're trying to report on. It's a lot of sensationalism. I love this. Fetterman speaks complete gibberish as he introduces Joe Biden. I wonder how anybody could understand either one of them. That must have been a great, great speech there. Okay, so you get the drift of what conservative news is reporting on. Let's see if we can pull up. Okay, now this is MSNBC, mainstream media. Now you would think in the same day, you would be reporting on the same stories, but apparently not. Which I find interesting, because there's the other side of this. There's, that they say misinformation. They don't even report on the same stories, so I don't even know how they know who's saying what. And it makes me think that if they're not reporting on the same stories, is there really misinformation on the other side? What I'm trying to get at is, if a conservative news source reports on a story and mainstream media does not, does it validate conservative news? Maybe mainstream is trying to suppress the news, or maybe conservative news is making things up. That's what mainstream media would want you to believe. I'm the type of person that always likes to see both sides of a story. And I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. I do think that some things that mainstream media reports, are factual. But I do think that they also portray things in a negative way. Is it misinformation, or is it suppression of the actual news, or is it total fantasy? I don't know. Everyone needs to figure that out themselves. I tend to believe conservative news. I find them more credible. They tend to have a lot of videos that support what they say. Seeing is believing, hearing is believing. A lot of people, for instance, I've had people tell me, back in 2020 when they had all those Portland riots and things, and they were burning the city, and I had liberal friends tell me, "Oh, that's all misinformation. It's not really happening." And I'm thinking, there are videos of it happening. They're just not showing it on mainstream media. That's what I'm saying about mainstream. A lot of it is omission rather than misinformation. They're just not reporting what's really happening. So everyone needs to come to their own determination, and that's the big part of it right there. You need to think for yourself. You need to study both sides of the story and come up with your own conclusions. But I tend to believe visual and audio proof. You can't believe headlines. You can't believe what reporters say. Seeing is believing, and I follow a lot of live streamers, and I tend to think that that's about the only way we really get factual news of any type, because they're right there, right then, showing you what's going on. And it's a shame that there are not enough of them out there. I mean, I think they're growing in size, but we need more of them. Stations like this that I'm trying, this is a new station for me. I want to focus on what's happening in the world. I want to try to ferret out the truth and show, what's really going on. But it is a challenge. It's a challenge to even get anyone to watch your channel. So I'm hoping that people will figure these out themselves and realize you can't believe everything that everybody tells you, and you need to uncover the truth yourself, but you need to be aware. You can't, I'm all for everyone should live their lives and get away from the stress of reality. But, that only carries you so far, and you have to really think about what's going on in the world, what's going on in your state, your country. You need to participate, try to change things for the positive. There's too much negativity, there's too much chaos, there's too much violence in this world, and we need to tone that all down. We need to find our center again. This country was founded on people trying to avoid oppression, getting away from oppression, and for this country to develop into a police state, a government police state. Is that really where everybody wants to go with this? I mean, look at this. You have to avoid using gender-specific words like mother and father. Is that where you really want to go with this? Is there anybody out there? Is there anybody listening? Is there anybody that gives a damn? I hope so.